The Writers Guild of America's silence on the October 7th terrorist attacks on Israel looks to be the only statement they'll be making, at least according to West Coast President Meredith Stiehm. In the past week, some members have requested that the Guild take a public stand on events in the Middle East. WGA West boss and former Homeland EP today told showrunners and others who have sought a statement of support and condolence from their guilds similar to what the WGA and SAG-AFTRA, plus Disney, Comcast, and many others have already said for the over 1,400 killed by Hamas and the hundreds taken hostage. Equally, many members have asked us to refrain from making any statement. Stiehm continued in the email sent out at around noon today. Read the full email, entitled, Follow Up to Your Outreach, from WGAW President Meredith Stiehm below. The Board of Directors has worked exhaustively to consider the great diversity of opinions among our members on this issue and determine how best to address this as a guild, the recently re-elected WGAW president added, noting, We of course share your anguish to the concerned members. Like the membership itself, the board's viewpoints are varied, and we found consensus out of reach. For these reasons, we have decided not to comment publicly. What a total cop-out, they should be ashamed, one prominent showrunner told Deadline of the email, which he received Saturday. They put a statement out about everything else, but not dead Jews. Disgusting. Another scribe said that they thought ChatGPT wrote this, while yet another writer said they had gotten letters from the taxman with more empathy. Stiehm's email notwithstanding, there has been no official statement from the WGA of support or a decision to not support a statement on the bloody October 7th attacks on towns, settlements, and military bases on the Israeli-Gaza border. It appears that Stiehm's email went out mainly to guild members who have signed an open letter to the WGA decrying the silent treatment given to the tragic onslaught of 2 weeks ago. Entitled, Writers Speak Out, the widely circulated of last week letter stated, When the BLM movement took flight, the guild rightfully spoke up. When the hashtag MeToo reckoning came and Hollywood needed to change, again the guild spoke up. But when terrorists invaded Israel to murder, rape, and kidnap Jews, the guild stayed silent. As of today, Sacha Baron Cohen, Mad Men creator Matt Weiner, Jerry Seinfeld, Eli Roth, Homeland and 24's Howard Gordon, Amy Chozick, Billions EP Brian Koppelman, Susanna Grant, Stephen Levitan, Aline Brosh McKenna, La Brea's David Applebaum, Scott Frank, Amy Sherman Palladino, The Americans co-showrunner Joel Fields, Gingy Cohen, and many others have put their names to the open letter. The Saturday morning email directly from Stiehm also follows a virtual meeting of over 80 showrunners and other writers on the WGA's mute response held yesterday, as Deadline exclusively reported. Moderated by Jonathan Prince, the over 90-minute gathering sought to find a way for the group to move the discussion with the guild forward. While no absolute conclusion were met, and more meetings are planned, the group is resolved to seek both an apology and a statement of support from the guild leadership. All of those goals look very distant now, especially based on Stiehm's correspondence. It seems that a WGAW board meeting this past week on this matter became quite contentious, with the legacy of anti-Semitism being compared and contrasted to notions of colonization and Israel as an apartheid state when it comes to the Palestinians. Several guild members have made it clear to the board and WGA leadership that they would view any statement of support for Israel and condemnation of the brutal violence of October 7th as also being support of the Jewish state's subsequent airstrikes on Hamas-run Gaza and the looming ground invasion the Israel Defense Forces are preparing. Thousands of people have been killed in Gaza by Israel's response so far, with hundreds of thousands ordered to leave their homes before the IDF moves in. Only today has mega humanitarian relief, negotiated by Joe Biden on his recent trip to Israel last week, been able to cross into the territory. The WGA's silence may all be forgotten once Gaza is invaded, but we won't forget, one A-list showrunner asserted. We were all out on the picket lines together for months, but when we needed them, we were kicked to the curb. Read the full email from WGA West President here. Wanted to let you know where the board ended up on this. I know the last couple of weeks have been extremely painful, and I'm so sorry for that. We of course share your anguish, and wish there had been a simple answer here. In the past week, some members have requested that the guild take a public stand on events in the Middle East. Equally, many members have asked us to refrain from making any statement,